when he was 2 years old, leaving his mother to raise 5 children alone in crushing poverty. They had nothing. Some days, they had less than nothing. His mother worked herself to exhaustion just to keep them alive, and young Li Lianjie watched every moment of her suffering. At 8 years old, the boy found his escape. The Beijing Wushu team was recruiting, and Li Lianjie walked into that training hall like he was walking into salvation. Wushu, Chinese martial arts, wasn't just about fighting. It was gymnastics, dance, combat, and discipline, forged into something that looked like magic when done right. And this poor kid from the wrong side of Beijing, he was a natural. Within months, coaches were whispering about him. Within a year, he was dominating competitions against kids twice his age. By 11, Li Lianjie became the youngest national champion in Chinese Wushu history, not in his age group. Overall, he beat adults. Then he did it again the next year, and the next. 5 consecutive national championships before he turned 16. His speed defied physics. His precision made seasoned masters shake their heads in disbelief. The Chinese government noticed. In 1974, they sent him to perform for President Nixon during the historic U.S. visit. Nixon watched this young martial artist move like water and allegedly said, "You're so good, why don't you become my bodyguard?" Li Lianjie, just 11 years old, looked at the most powerful man in the Western world and said, "I don't want to protect any individual. When I grow up, I want to protect all 1.3 billion Chinese people." That response became legend in China. It showed confidence, national pride, and a spirit Hollywood would later try desperately to break. But first came stardom in his homeland. In 1982, director Zhang Xinyan cast the 19-year-old Wushu champion in Shaolin Temple, a kung fu film that would change Chinese cinema forever. The movie cost almost nothing to make, but exploded across China like a cultural bomb. Box office records shattered. Suddenly, everyone wanted to learn kung fu. Shaolin Temple became the 3rd highest-grossing film in Chinese history, and Li Lianjie became a household name overnight. He changed his stage name to Jet Li, simpler, sharper, more international, and he kept making films. Once Upon a Time in China in 1991 made him a legitimate superstar across Asia. As Wang Fei Hung, the legendary Chinese folk hero, Jet Li delivered fight choreography so clean, so technically perfect, that martial arts historians still study those sequences today. He made 5 Once Upon a Time in China films, each one cementing his status as the premier martial arts actor of his generation. But Jet Li wanted more. He looked at Jackie Chan conquering Hollywood in the 90s with Rush Hour, and something burned inside him. He'd beaten Jackie in pure martial arts skill 1,000 times over. Jackie was a brilliant physical comedian and stuntman, but Jet Li was a 5-time national champion with technique that made masters weep. If Jackie could become a Hollywood star, why couldn't he? In 1998, that question got an answer. The American Breakthrough. Joel Silver, the legendary producer behind Die Hard and The Matrix, needed a villain for Lethal Weapon 4. Not just any villain. He needed someone who could make audiences believe this person could actually kill Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Silver had seen Jet Li's Hong Kong films, watched him move with that supernatural speed, and made a phone call that would change everything. Jet Li arrived in Hollywood speaking broken English, but his audition didn't need words. He moved, and everyone in the room forgot to breathe. Director Richard Donner cast him immediately as Hua Xing-ku, a ruthless triad assassin. The role had maybe 20 lines of dialogue. It didn't matter. When Lethal Weapon 4 hit theaters in 1998, pulling in over $285 million worldwide, audiences left talking about one thing. Who was that Chinese guy? Hollywood noticed. Within months, Warner Brothers offered Jet Li the lead role in Romeo Must Die, a modern retelling of Shakespeare's classic set against warring Chinese and African-American crime families. Pairing him with R&B superstar Aaliyah was brilliant marketing. The soundtrack featured DMX and Timbaland. The budget was $40 million. For Jet Li, this was the moment, his chance to prove he could carry an American film. Romeo Must Die dropped in March 2000, and it worked. 25 million opening weekend, over 90 million worldwide. Critics called the fight choreography revolutionary, blending wire work with bone-crunching realism. Jet Li's fight scenes looked different from anything American audiences had seen. Not the comedic chaos of Jackie Chan, not the muscle-bound brawling of Van Damme or Seagal. This was art. Precise, lethal, beautiful. The problem started immediately. Warner Brothers marketed Jet Li as the next Jackie Chan, and he hated it. In interviews, he tried to explain the difference. Jackie is a comedian who does martial arts. I am a martial artist who sometimes does comedy. But Hollywood doesn't listen. Hollywood sees categories, boxes, formulas. Asian martial artist equals Jackie Chan clone. End of discussion. Still, the momentum carried him forward. Kiss of the Dragon in 2001 gave him even more creative control. Produced by Luc Besson, directed by Chris Nahan, the film was violent, stylish, and uncompromising. Jet Li played a Chinese intelligence officer framed for murder in Paris, forced to fight corrupt cops while protecting a woman from human trafficking. The acupuncture needle fight scenes were visceral. The final battle showcased his speed like nothing before. Kiss of the Dragon made over 50 million worldwide on a modest decades of discipline and 5 national championships. He was wrong. The Peak and the Poison. 2002 brought Hero, directed by Zhang Yimou, and for a brief moment, Jet Li touched immortality. This wasn't a Hollywood production. This was Chinese cinema at its most ambitious, a visually stunning meditation on sacrifice, loyalty, and the cost of peace. Jet Li played a nameless warrior attempting to assassinate the King of Qin, and the film's color-coded fight sequences became instant classics. Hero premiered at the Toronto Film Festival, and people lost their minds. Quentin Tarantino loved it so much, he helped distribute it in America through Miramax. When it finally got a wide US release in 2004, Hero became the first Chinese-language film to top the American box office. Over 53 million domestic, 177 million worldwide. Jet Li had proved he could lead a globally successful film that wasn't dumbed down for Western audiences. But here's where it gets dark. While Hero was dominating festivals and building Jet Li's artistic credibility, Hollywood was already putting him in a cage. The One, released in 2001, seemed promising on paper. Jet Li playing multiple versions of himself across parallel universes, hunting down his alternate selves to become an all-powerful being. Science fiction plus martial arts, directed by James Wong with a budget of $49 million. The movie made $43 million domestic. Not terrible, but not the breakout hit Columbia Pictures expected. And the critical response was brutal. They called it a video game. Shallow. Style over substance. What nobody mentioned was how the script reduced Jet Li to a near-silent killing machine with barely any character development. He tried to bring depth to the role, but the directors wanted explosions and wire work, not complexity. Then came Cradle to the Grave in 2003, and the writing was already on the wall. Pairing Jet Li with rapper DMX made sense on paper. Ride the success of Romeo Must Die's hip-hop crossover appeal, but the film felt like a desperate retread. Jet Li played a Taiwanese intelligence agent partnering with an American thief. both racing to recover stolen black diamonds. The plot was nonsense. The dialogue was worse. DMX couldn't act, and Jet Li was given maybe 30 lines for the entire film. Cradle to the Grave made $56 million worldwide on a $25 million budget. Profitable but forgettable. And that was the problem. Jet Li was being profitable enough to keep getting work, but not explosive enough to demand better roles. Hollywood had figured out the formula. Cast the Chinese guy in mid-budget action films with hip-hop stars or white leads. Give him minimal dialogue to hide his accent. Let him fight. Collect money. Repeat. Meanwhile, Jackie Chan was getting Rush Hour 3. Chow Yun-fat was starring in Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp. Roles that gave them personality, humor, three-dimensional characters. Jet Li got Unleashed in 2005, where he played a man raised like a dog by a gangster, forced to fight on command. The film was actually good, with real emotional weight, but it barely got a theatrical release in America. Straight to video in most markets. The whispers in Hollywood started getting louder. Jet Li was difficult. His English wasn't good enough. He didn't test well with focus groups. Too serious. Not funny like